Have you ever seen this movie, which is got about more than 25 years ago, and it is got a lot of the prize and in many countries. The movie is Life is Beautiful. So that it has a profound meaning, right? Life is beautiful. Why do I talk about this movie? Why I love this movie? The movie is about one family you see in the poster. They live during the World War II. Those are Jewish Jewish family, and you know that what happened to the Jew people during the World War II in Europe. They were they were threatened by Nazi. Okay, some of you had to go to the concentration camp, and then a lot of the big amount, the huge amount of Jewish people died during in the concentration camp during the World War II. But what happened to the movie here? They grown up. The man they met, they love, and they married with the lady during the World War II, and they they have a child. The child was born a very short time before the World War II erupt, and but they grow up. They grow up. They grow up in in a small city, probably in Italy. Italy was Jewish, but they have to hide themselves not to show. They have to hide their boy, not to show that they are Jewish. If be- because if they show up, the soldier will take them to the camp. So they have to hide themselves in a small room. But and the boy was grown up during the World War II, and sometime they he saw the troop military pass by his house, and then he has a question like, "Who is that? What's going on? What happened?" Like the innocent boy asked a question, but the way that his father replied to him, replied to him, is that, "Oh, it's like that a soldier coming in, but they are in the game, the game like maybe children's game, not like the war. We are in the game. We are in the game, so you can play. The soldier come in, and then they will go by." So what I mean here, it means that um the father do not like do not his young boy to have a sense of war, sense of aggressive, sense of violence that happen around him, but he tried to make the innocent boy to be an optimistic person, to have a to have a happy life during the World War II, which is so suffered. So so he grown up. So he grown up like um he grown up in the very difficult time of the world, but he feel very happy. He grown up really happy life. He has a happy mind during the World War II. So this is the point I bring it. Just compare to your life. You may have one period of your life that you feel difficulty, feel suffering, and let's ask yourself, how you handle it, how you get through it, how you get through it in the suffering. Let's see to your life. If you can get through your suffering with a happiness, with a good mind, with a calmness, peaceful mind. Wow, you have really high skill of your living. But if you feel suffer, you feel very depressed. So please, maybe you have to change your mindset a little bit to find the good thing, to find a good point, to get more energy, to recover yourself. So you can see, maybe you can watch this movie, so you may have more energy, more powerful in your mind to recover yourself. to recover yourself, to wake up, to change your mindset. Everything was not that bad. This is one of my favorite movie. And okay, for when we talk about suffering, talk about suffering, because you feel, right? Do you agree with me that for the feeling of happy, joy, or pleasure, this is what you feel, right? You feel that you want to have a happiness in life, joy and pleasure. You always want to want to get happy, joy, pleasure all the time in your life. And you feel like you don't want to find or confront with the suffering, pain, or threaten, feel something negative. This is a way that we always avoid to do that. But let's ask and have a question that, can you do that? Can you avoid that? Can you avoid and can you find only happy in your life and completely avoid the suffering? Can you do that? I think for me, even though my life, I cannot. I cannot. What does it mean? What does it mean? The suffering always around us happy the time. I happy because I know how to get through it. I know that this is not the big deal. I feel I know how to solve the problem. Your suffering, your problem will probably not be the other person's problem because of our it is upon the experience in life, in how to deal with it, that about the solution too. So what I mean, the suffering can happen to you around you, but how you get through it, how you handle it, that always happen. You cannot avoid. But if you feel you're happy with suffering because you have a skill to confront, you have a strong mind to get through it with the suffering. With suffering, you cannot. For me, my point is that you cannot avoid to confront with suffering, but you know how to get through it. You know how to handle it. This is and again. To that, when you can turn your mindset, turn your suffering to be the happiness in your life. It's upon how you see it, how you see the suffering, and how you confront and from your experience with calmness in your mind, with a strong mind. So next slide. The suffering is what, like I said, that this is something that you don't like, but you have to get through it. But it happened to you. It happened to you. If you have a strong mind, strong energy to confront with it, suffering is not your suffering, right? Probably not your suffering. You can recover yourself quite fast, very quickly. But in some case in your life, for some people, but sometimes they feel when they suffer, they cannot find the solution, cannot get through it. They're stuck with the suffering, feel depressed, feel sad, feel unhappy. Why? And what happened? Because sometimes this come from their background and experience. So they don't know how to get with it, how to do it from the knowledge, and sometimes they come from what? Come from their mind, the mindset too. If they know, if they the background of their life, if they is that man, if that but if man, they are like always optimistic person when they get through, they confront with the all suffering, like in the movie. And the boy grown up during the World War II, which is a very difficult time for Jewish. But if he feel happy, so now that suffering would not take effect to them, would be nothing for them. This is suffering, right? So every problem has a solution. So what is the beliefs? What it can do? You know the way to solve the problem. Okay, now this time you know the way to solve the problem. Suffering will be diminished, will be gone. But if you cannot, suffering will be your suffer. Sometimes happiness will be your suffering too if you don't know the way to handle, don't know the way to recover yourself, to recover yourself. So this is a kind of suffering. And everything is suffering. You cannot avoid. Wow, what do I mean? What do I mean? So I will the point is let's do to see something, see around you, feel around you about the meaning of suffering that happen, the suffering to you. See the suffering. You can see the suffering. You can see in the positive way, not see in the negative way. The meaning of suffering is negative, right? But you can see in the positive and learn. Now we have to learn about the suffering, learn and understand them. Everything around my master said that everything in your life, even though my body, my shape, my face are suffering because what is impermanent, is impermanent. One day you're born, you're gonna die. Everything is suffering. Why? Why should okay, when what happened, when we know that you have to die, what is suffering? What should we do? Why do we have to understand? If you don't understand, don't realize that you feel upset. Oh, why do I have to die? I want to stay in immortal. I have a long life. Want to have a long life, right? I want to be the handsome boy, beautiful girl all the time. But by the nature, you cannot do that. You have to understand every suffering in your daily life. Suffering is still around you, but some suffering, some attitude, some behavior, some pain is not that big deal. It's not that big. You feel okay, I can just like for the big deal, like I'm hungry, okay, I can eat. That's a solve the problem. So the way everything is suffering. When you understand it, you understand the truth of the nature, the truth of your life. When you understand, so you realize and you adjust yourself to be happy with the suffering around you. What are the suffering around you that you cannot avoid? My master say that. Master say 4 sufferings in your life, 4 type of suffering in your life. What kind of those 4 suffering? Let's see in your life, suffering from your body. What is it? Your body is suffering, right? When you fall, you broke, right? You pain, your bone is broken. You feel pain, right? When you're hungry, you want to eat, you're hungry, you want to eat, and you don't want to do anything except eating. You want to go to the toilet, you cannot hold on it. You suffer, right? The suffer. This is the basic suffering in your daily life. This is the basic way. In this basic way, we can solve. If you're hungry, just eat. When you fall down and broken, go to the hospital to see the doctor. Huh? When you want to go to toilet, just go to the toilet or restroom to release all your suffering. This is the basic of your suffering. Like, okay, you can solve it. You can solve it. But another one, suffering from social. Social, what does it mean? In your work life, you have to deal with your boss, your friend, your another person that you found that you met with. This is kind of like more difficult to deal with because there's a lot of factors that you cannot control. This is an outside factor from your body. This is a yourself factor, so you can control and adjust it from outside factor. So outside factor from your friend, your social, how to deal with it. So that's kind of like you have to use a higher skill of your ability to to deal with the suffering that happened. Like you don't like this right? This man, your friend, you don't like him so much. He was so stingy. He was like so picky. I don't like that. So the way to this is outside factor, but the way to deal, okay, you have your small skill, maybe use a 4 bases of sympathy, com, um, we call sympathy, help, contribution, share your loving kindness, have an endearing speech to deal with them, to deal with the outside factor, to make them more calm down and be humble, and you can be beloved one, right? This is some kind of the way that you can solve the social factor that made you feel suffering. Suffering from economic, what does it mean? You are poor, you are rich. You're poor, you are rich. For example, this economy, you're poor, so you lack of necessity for your life. How to deal with? Sometimes we have to realize ourselves first, who we are, who we are, what we can help. And then I accept that, okay, should be right effort to recover yourself, do on the right livelihood, on the right occupation, right work that mean that will not take advantage of others, make you feel when you be more rich and more intelligent to be have a better life, have a better life. So, and this is another level, but at the highest level, that's suffering from what? From your defilement, your desire, your greed, your want from something that a virus in your mind that control your attitude, control your behavior. That's how you feel when you feel angry. How you feel angry. You cannot control. You have a hot temper, right? You want to kill. You want to fight with others. How you want? This is the suffering from your defilement. You feel suffering. You feel suffering. You feel greed. I want to get that. I want to have that. I want to gain more of that. I want to and I don't care if I have to take advantage of others. This is a defilement. How you can solve with the definement? This will be used here in the wisdom level, that from your practice, from meditation, from your learning about the Dharma, and then you practice and have to practice and follow the ethic, the law of conduct to reduce your defilement. Right? This is you use higher level, higher skill to solve the suffering in your life. This is the step of the suffering that happened to you from your body, your social, your make friend, from your like the big picture of your social, like that is an economic something that you cannot see from your mind, the feeling. So there's a higher level of suffering and higher level skill to solve that. This is a fourth suffering. Why you have to learn more about the suffering? Suffering, okay. There's 4 level. You know what are the suffering, right? So there's a question more. Okay, suffering, I accept that. Suffering is around me, around us. But what else more? How can I learn more? How can I get through it? How can I solve problem in my life? The basic teaching of Buddhism. Oh, sorry. In Thai, in Pali, Ariya Sattสี่ noble truth, the noble truth of the suffering of the nature to dukkha. That happen, like I said, dukkha or suffering cannot happen to you anywhere, anytime. It is around us, but it will take effect to you or not. This is come from your experience and how you see the suffering is. If you see it in the happiness way, that's not a suffering, that not take effect to me. But if you cast on that and then you have a pessimistic to see even um small case, small story, just some speaking word, and when you feel pessimistic to what they say, what the people say, you pessimistic. That can be turn this word of speaking to be your suffering. About how you see the suffering. Okay, samudaya. Samudaya, what does it mean? When we learn about the scientific, everything will not happen, not just like happen suddenly, but there's a cause of suffering. Now we have think that what happened to us? What happened to us? Why should happen? So now you trace back to the cause of suffering, to the cause of suffering. Okay, like let's go back to the four type of suffering in our life. Okay, in the first level from the body, you know that okay, the suffering come from if you want to go to the restroom or not, you have to hold it, or it probably come from because it come from you drink a lot. Now it's time to go to the restroom. You know it, you know the reason, right? You feel like so sleepy. Oh, because of I have I had a very short sleep last night. So now you know the cause. And when I feel you got anger, oh, because of I cannot control myself well. So you should find the way to solve it. Why does solve it? Solve the problem, right? You know the cause. Try to trace back to the cause of suffering. Suffering, okay. Real suffering, hatred may come from a greedy that you find in your mind. You have it can be solved by the wisdom, your wisdom. Nirota. So now we think that you know the suffering that happened to us, know the cause. Now there's an idea that we should find the solution of life. The solution of life. Now you think that the solution of the suffering, this is a nirota. Then when she try to think and analyze the suffering more and more, got the Buddha, the solution we call the Noble Eightfold Path. Noble Eightfold again, enlightenment. Enlightenment comes from right view, right tension, uh, and whatever it's like. There's Eightfold Noble Eightfold Path, right livelihood, right action, right speech, right concentration, and right mindfulness, right effort. So this is eightfold that we should practice together to get this the level of utmost way to gain enlightenment, to be like completely away from suffering. But okay, in the highest level, but if you for the basic level, you learn, understand, try to and let's go to trace back where your suffering come from, think about where it's come from, and then find the solution. So now the suffering will not be something that you should suffer, right? Because suffering, if you understand and realize suffering happen to us, always happen to us, but now you know and you understand, you can get through it, you can handle it. Let you see, because when you know about the suffering, understand the meaning of suffering, so now your mindset will be changed. The suffering that happened to you will be the happiness, like this lady. She was in the hospital, maybe probably some disease, some painful, but she can smile, she can handle, she can get through it. You may have learned that some other patient who got like a very hard cancer, they can die, but they are ready to die happily. They know the meaning of life. They don't feel any pain of the symptom of the disease. They can smile and then realize what's going on to them and can confront with it, with the heart disease, with the suffering in life. So now please change your mindset and see suffering to be the happiness that we can handle it. Thank you very much for Wisdom Talk. Today, I would like to turn the microphone back to Ms. Chantana.
Thank you so much, Mantri, for this beautiful and valuable teaching for today's session. We now can handle all suffering, not I think everyone